3.5 hours. Monday night at Acre Showings with no internet. I literally had to like stop at Tim Hortons to quickly send the contract and then call my clients, the Acre desk, just to find out when I got home that my mobile data button was turned off.
Oh, nice.
No, yeah, like that. So
Okay. That's the reason you couldn't get internet?
that's- Within 10 minutes of getting home. Like, we started my phone like 3 times when we were out. Like it was just.
Yeah. Can you put on the, you know, yeah. Is that the front page?
I just went.
Yeah, just escape room. Just tell me, just give it. That's the front page of it, so.
No. Any difference?
So, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, we're doing the pages. Okay, sweet. Yep. Sorry. Okay, so. Okay. Today we're gonna do another little exercise. We're gonna do more and more of these little exercises. So what I'm gonna do with the exercises is kind of show you guys back, the end of the session, kind of where you were at. So say we have individual exercises and then like the combined. Can you just shut that? Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Mom. You can see it. Oh, yeah, perfect. Are you recording? Okay. So, yeah, so I'll send you this stuff back, and we can kind of go through it one-on-one to talk a little bit about your why, which is what we did yesterday. And then today we're gonna start to work on developing your ideal client. And this is really gonna be something that I'll talk about from kind of here on in. You noticed yesterday or the other day when Darren was in from Sign Guy Darren, talking about, you know, do you have your ideal clients? Do you have your avatars? I think it's just common right now in any kind of sales role where you're trying to identify somebody to market to. You're going to need to understand who your ideal client is. And for a whole bunch of reasons, but if we grind it right down, can you put the mouse on? If we grind it right down, what we're talking about is targeting or understanding the people, the client who benefit most from your services and your core values. So your services that you can provide and the values that you have. And really what you want to do is make sure that that group of people or the person, whoever it might be, has a perception or, you know, kind of understands your value. Because if you can't identify who would appreciate what you can offer, you're really going to be marketing to people who don't really care about what you offer. So it becomes very, very inefficient. I think that's one of the things in real estate that really sets people back. And it's really something you have to learn, or people learn over time, just by trial and error. And people spend a ton of money marketing and a ton of money marketing to people who don't care about you. And a ton of money to people you can't offer any services of value to. So when we get into marketing, we'll be focused on your ideal client, each of you separately. And just think of it like wasting money. If you're marketing to everybody and you don't want to work with everybody, you're going to be spending a lot of money marketing to everybody who you can't help, or they don't want it, or they don't want your help. And well, the reality is when you've come from 9 to 5 or employment situation, your employer has spent a shit ton of money defining their ideal client and deciding who they want to market to and who they want to attract. And have advertising firms, they have, you know, marketing support, they have all of these tools to help them break down who they're going to be spending their money marketing to. You guys don't have that advantage. You have trial and error. So spending $1,000 here, $1,000 here, 500 here, 250 there, trying different things. But if you're not marketing to the right people, you're going to be wasting that money. Um, there's lots of advertising techniques and tactics we'll talk about when we get into marketing, but at the end of the day, the most basic marketing piece that you can control is understanding your ideal client. Has anybody ever thought about their ideal client? Who they should be marketing to? Yeah. Excellent. Okay, cool. Hi. Is it Jeffy? Cool. All right. Gaurav, have you thought at all about your ideal client? No, you don't either.
Yeah, the first time home buyers probably.
Okay, so we'll dig into it a little bit more. Perfect, thank you. So the key characteristics of an ideal client is they share your values, so they think similar to you, they act similar to you. That's typically a characteristic. You can go after people who don't think like you and don't have share your values, but if you're going to like have that quick fit, I think that share values is important. They appreciate your services, so they're not, so they're there to work with you as opposed to not work with you and kind of treat you like a, tool or whatever. And then somebody who has your, you can provide value to efficiently, I guess, and effectively. So somebody who meets your expectations of a client, okay? And most importantly, somebody that you can actually offer value to. As an example, there might be, you might be marketing to a community, you might be door knocking, you might be blanket, flyer dropping a community. Only a percentage of those flyers are going to get anybody's attention. The little old lady, you're marketing a certain way, the little old lady wants to sell her house and downsize, move into a nursing home. That person will connect with you differently. So you may or may not connect with them, but only a small percentage of, not a small percentage of, a percentage of the flyers that you drop hit the client that you want, right? Which is fine. Because if the number is 10% connection, then 90% are screened out. And then you can start to redefine and refine your marketing parameters. So don't try to write the best marketing piece that attracts everybody. Narrow it down to your ideal client. Pick your ideal client and market to those people. It really doesn't make sense for you to be writing, a marketing piece that tries to attract everyone. Everyone will just be no one. And I think that's when I watch this, that's probably the most common mistake that I see people make in their marketing materials. It's just bland. It's just straight up trying to attract everyone. And you're not really attracting the people who kind of share your values, appreciate what you're doing, or the people that you're targeting as your ideal clients. Yeah. So this is why it matters. I mean, I would say, I think we'll get into this a little bit more, but on the marketing side, it's just everything. It just changes, it changes the way you market, it changes the way you message.
Changes your confidence.
Changes your confidence 100%. I think, especially early on, that's probably the most important thing. If you can get like-minded people, like situations, or however you want to define that ideal client, if you can start to attract those people, your confidence builds and builds and builds. And it can happen from day one. Nathan's a good example. Like, he had a very specific ideal client, like a trades person who works long shifts or different shifts. And he that kind of defined what he was looking for, and he started to just attract that group of people. His first client fit his ideal client base perfectly. It was bizarre. And then it continued. It still continues today, with everything that he tries to do, marketing, talking with people, attracting people. So your life will be a lot easier if you're attracting people that you want to work with and people who want to work with you.
It just flows so much nicer.
Yeah.
It's just like the more you are yourself, like it just shows, like your deals.
Yeah, and then not only that, and then the referrals from those people. So generally speaking, the referrals from those people may not be your ideal client base, but they're going to be warm, very, very warm, hot referrals from somebody who fit your ideal client profile. So those referrals just become much, much better. And you have more likelihood of getting those referrals if you're talking with the people you want to talk to. Okay? So I can't emphasize enough this whole idea of defining your ideal client. From marketing to referrals to the deal flow, everything will be easier if you're dealing with your ideal client. So why market to people who aren't your ideal client? And you have to get what you get now, but don't spend money that isn't kind of targeted or at least screening out your non-ideal clients. Yeah, so efficient marketing, probably the most important piece right now. Because we all have limited budgets. Once you can figure out how to most effectively spend your money, you'll be able to determine the ROI on it, and you'll be able to determine whether you put more money into it or less money into it, whether your tactics become different than they were before. And I think Gabby's point yesterday, like, where do I find the activity? This is where you become a lot more efficient with the activity, in that you're kind of trying to talk with people who are your ideal client. So instead of talking to everybody for $500, you're talking to people who might do business with you for $500. It's probably 10% of the grand total. But at least you're talking to those people who are going, who have the potential of working with you, because you can help them and because they want you. Better client relationships. This just equals referrals. So with people who appreciate what you do, you could build. Are you guys all good? Everybody's on the phone. I can pause. Take notes. Okay, I don't care. Like, leave us. Just leave.
Yeah, I tried.
It's like totally screws people up. So
True.
yeah, you ever been at a listing presentation and somebody pops their phone? It's like, all right, so just building, and so let's clarify this. So if you're busy, just like walk out. I don't mind that 100%. Not saying like just to you, just saying in general. As a rule, if you're busy, step out, no problem. Okay, so yeah, deeper relationships with people. If you're working with your ideal client, you automatically build deeper relationships. And it results in higher conversion rates. So for $1,000 spent, maybe you get a 6 times ROI, so 6 to 1, so you're making $6,000 on your 1,000 invested. And maybe when you just blanket and don't focus or don't target, you can blanket and still target an ideal client base. But if you're blanketing and not targeting, then your conversion rate might be 0 to 1, 1 to 1, 2 to 1, but it just isn't as efficient, and your conversion rates are much lower when you're not trying to attract your ideal. So yeah, to clarify, like if you're doing things like door knocking or flyer dropping, I mean, that's one of the ways you're going to grow your business. You just have to be targeted. It can't be just general, I'd like to help you, I'm a great person. It has to be targeted to a certain group of people in that neighborhood. And then if you get somebody else, that's great, but you have to be trying to work with those ideal clients. Because if you're doing a generic mail out with generic, generic content, it's going to be generically connected with people, and nobody's going to connect with it.
I was wondering if you could maybe break that down a little more.
Sure.
Just so when you go door knocking, like you're on the other side of the door.
Mhm.
Or like if you're flyer bombing again, you don't know. Yeah, you're targeting an area. So you saying like specifically target an area that you think our ideal client lives in, or how did we keep? Is it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a great question. So I would step it down, right? So, you know where houses are selling through Paragon, so that's your first cue. Second thing is pick neighborhoods that you want to, that typically have the demographic that you're looking for. And then third, your messaging, whether it's door knocking, flyer dropping, has to be targeted to those people, right? As an example, if I'm looking for move up, people who are selling and buying, my messaging is not gonna be first time home buyer, tax programs and incentives, right? My messaging is also not gonna be, I'm the best agent in the world, I can help you. That's just too generic. Mine will be, you have headaches, like with your kids outgrowing the house, I can help, whatever, something to that effect, right? So first, I would say, pick where sales are happening, and maybe even there isn't like a dominant realtor in the area. And then second, would be like, as long as people, are living there, you're trying to attract. And then third, would be the messaging on my content, even if it's the messaging face to face. So I'm literally not gonna be talking about first time home buyer programs with somebody in a house that literally is like a move up house. Some people in the move ups are more concerned about the emotional part of, getting their kids into a school by September, right? They could give a crap about the market stats. So when you're out there and you're planning to talk to people, your primary message or your messaging needs to be targeted to your ideal client. If your ideal client is upsizers, it's typically a much more emotional decision to sell their house and buy a new house, or kind of practical versus a market, make money. More people moving up will part with their sale houses for a much lower value than they normally would if they were buying just one new house. So if that's your target move up, you have to understand what makes them tick. And there's absolutely no sense in messaging generic, like I see that because, well, we'll get into this, but you just have to do it so many times. When you're doing generic, you're dropping people. Like it used to be 7-to-1, it was like the real marketing, you had to hit people with the same message 7 times. But with our attention spans now with social media, it's like 11 times. I think that Seth Godin is now talking about 11 touches before somebody, cognitively like understands your message. So it's getting more and more difficult, and you need more and more repetition. So you better be talking to the people who actually want to hear your message. And I don't know if anybody gets generic flyers here. I mean, for me, I mark a date, whatever I want on it, so I keep them all. But I'm getting less and less generic pieces. More with specific pieces. That's great.
Like an experienced top realtor before, I used to say, do the handwritten letter as
Yeah.
a flyer and whatever.
Yeah.
And I just bugged me now. Like,
Yeah.
it just looks so unprofessional now. Like
Yeah.
3 years ago, I was like all into it. And now it's just like, put the effort into like making a nice flyer.
And even like the nice flyers, what's disappearing is the generic flyer. Hi, my name's Bill, here's my picture, I can sell homes in the area, I've sold 20 houses in the area, blah, blah, blah. Like those are, you're not receiving them as much anymore. You're
Yeah.
receiving specific.
Even the realtor that has a qualified buyer who will pay over market
Yeah.
value for my house for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Like it just loses its
Mhm.
after a long time. I don't know.
Sure does. We know too much about that though. But I think watch the other realtors that are marketing to you. They're marketing a lot more, typically they're marketing a lot more specifically now because their flyers weren't working in the past as generic flyers. So knowing your ideal client has really financial benefits to you, both from a marketing perspective and the relationship perspective and referrals. So you guys have to start thinking this way. So a deal is a deal. If you're developing a good relationship with that person, it's going to result in probably 5 or 6 or 7 deals over the course of of your relationship with them by, you know, them maybe buying and selling next time, or them referring you to somebody or multiple people. So the most important thing at the beginning, just get deals, like get deals so you can build practical real estate relationships.
Well, that's kind of how you find out what you like about your ideal client too, right? What you like and don't like. And it helps you narrow that down a little bit too.
Totally.
Yeah.
And if it's in your head, always, you're gonna refine them. So your ideal client today will be completely different than your ideal client a year from now, 2 years. It might flip back and forth. But the important thing is that you're thinking about how you relate to them and how they would want to use your services.
I asked somebody one time about this, cause I was thinking, I was gonna specialize in a niche, I really wanted to like try to do this, and someone told me, Nate, you don't know shit. And I was like, well, you're not wrong, like, it's not the house, and like, I was like, you know what, I haven't done a deal. And she's like, do everything right now, like for your first year, maybe like, don't focus on anything, focus on just doing whatever you can. Because she's like, maybe you like high-rise condos, and you don't even know it yet, because you've never done one, maybe you like mobile homes, you don't know it because you've never done one yet, but like, until you do some things,
Yeah.
then maybe focus on what you want to like specifically focus on. And I appreciated her bluntness, to be honest with you. It was like, yeah, like, you know what, I don't know anything, and like, maybe I should just focus on doing my first year, just doing everything I can.
I don't think it
So-
hurts to like put your focus in one direction,
Yeah.
but take on everything.
Yeah,
I think what Tim's saying too is don't advertise to everything,
Yeah.
advertise like
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's also like, so these relationships are complex, right? So my relationship with a first-time home buyer is gonna be completely different than my upsizer or my downsizers. Like those, you know, those were the three categories of home buyers and sellers. The relationship with A, B, and C are completely different.
Right.
So I want to get better at something, I focus on something. In my real life, you know, in sports, in whatever, if you're trying to learn how to play soccer, you don't get better at basketball, baseball, and every other sport.
Right.
So you focus on soccer. And that would be like my analogy, where if you can niche down, and get the same amount of business that you would being just wide open and waiting or pushing a wide open market, depending on what that niche is, we can always talk about that. I would niche down every single time, because you can get better and better and better at that. Instead of getting okay at first time home buyers, terrible at move up, because it's a complicated transaction, and terrible at downsizers, because that's also complicated. And your complexity or your abilities just become first time buyers. I don't think I would like necessarily niche into those kind of categories, but I would niche into like areas, geographic, psychographic, like different groups of people and or areas, but don't be afraid to niche. And as Shaylin said, like, you know, be open to taking anything and everything, including, you know, investors looking for flip properties. Which I think just attract new realtors, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But anyways, like, yeah.
Use them like doormats.
Mhm.
Who do jump when they say doormat.
So like, if as you grow, your ideal client will grow too, right? Like, right now I live with family people, but 10 years from now, I have grandkids or whatever, I'm gonna want that
Absolutely,
age or.
and there's a tendency to attract people who are similar to you,
Mhm.
right? So it's a tendency, but you've gone out of, you know, you've gone out of that comfort zone to work with like a serious investor. So all of those opportunities will come to you, but where you put your like, I want to get better at this, I would define that. And it can be anything, it can be geography, it could be the type of person, like a first time home buyer, it can be the actual type of person, certain person, like with this kind of income level. Nathan's was tradespeople. That's who he went after, so he got really good at attracting and finding where tradespeople are. They might have been move up, they might have been moved down, whatever, whoever they were, that is his niche, right? So
Right.
I think niching down, like, I don't know, what was a specific example of what you're thinking about?
I was originally thinking about acreages.
Yeah,
Just 'cause they're-
don't do it. No, but okay, so it's a perfect example. So if that's your thing, and you wanna do it, you gotta get good at acreages, right?
Right.
So if you're taking away your time and flyer dropping Bonnie Doon,
Right,
yet you're trying to focus on acreages West Edmonton, like focus on learning as much as possible at the market, you know, the tendencies, the people that buy acreages, where those people live,
right,
how you target them. Forget the flyer drop in Bonnie Doon. This is just a wild example. So,
Right.
but if you want that focus, go for it. Get damn good at acreages. Why not?
Know the ins and outs of it.
Totally.
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's, that was lady with Schmidt Realty, she just basically told me like, don't focus on it yet, not yet, but she's like, you can focus on anything you
When,
want, but
when do
after
you
1 year.
start? Like,
Like,
when do you start? Like, get good at it now. It's not gonna take
Right.
all your time now.
right,
But if people like, it's just around this room, you manifest that, right? So now
right,
you talk to people about you're gonna be an acreage specialist. Guess what? I don't wanna do acreages, so I'm gonna give one to you.
right,
I didn't know you wanted to do acreages. You didn't manifest that. You didn't tell me. You didn't, you know what I mean? Like,
Right,
if
right.
you can be,
Partner with them,
yeah,
so that you can learn from them and they will start feeding you. stuff,
Yeah.
right? You can build that trust with them.
so all of these things that you can do to improve that niche are there if you decide to go for that niche.
right,
If you don't decide, then you're gonna be doing everything anyways, which you'll probably still be doing, but in the back of mind, you can be like, hey, my ideal client is, you know, somebody wanting to buy an acreage, wanting to sell an acreage. You may still do everything else that it takes to survive, so don't get me wrong, you know, don't,
Right.
like, that's the
That's
reality.
like an acreage, sorry, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
It's out of your $600,000 house.
Yeah. Yeah, but as Megan said, like, don't, you know, if you're trying to learn something, just focus on learning that thing. And then in the meantime, do what you think needs to be done on the rest. Like, don't advertise, don't market into Bonnie Doon if your real desire is to be an acreage specialist. Do what you know, go out, reach out, find the acreage specialists, learn from them, take some of their business, take some of their referrals. So,
I've kind of
I
changed
get
that, so
you.
that was just at the time, when I was
Yeah.
kind of thinking, like, at the time, I hadn't been, I wasn't even licensed, and I was like,
yeah,
acreages sell for lots of money, I can make lots of money if I sell acreages.
Yeah.
It was like, this, for it,
Depending on where,
I'm
depending
sure,
on
like,
where,
you're sure Parkland's acreages sell for like, $1,000.
yeah, it depends on where you are. I don't know, I showed in a 20 acres the other day at $200,000.
so don't be afraid to niche down. And the sooner you niche down, the better, in my opinion, but, you know. So niche down does not mean to focus 100% of your time on that.
Right,
It can grow over time, but that should be what you're manifesting when you're talking to people about.
Right.
Like, if I come across a tradesperson now that I can't deal with, of course it's needs, right?
Right.
Just pay me your phone.
Can you, like, can you farm more than one area? Like, my ideal person isn't in my farming area.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think, are there your ideal person, people in that farming area?
Like, I know the Gibbons and Bonaparte market like really, really well.
Yep.
Like, I just know it.
Yeah.
Know it, stuff like that. But it's not really my ideal. I get a lot of deals from every single my stuff, but it's not.
I see your.
Yeah.
I'm saying the already in Beaver, mostly,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think part of what you're doing is because you're a specialist in Gibbons. So you get referrals out there, you get referral deals, you get people in the neighborhood who know you can resell their house or whatever. So I think, like, don't get off that. But I would suggest strongly not to get off that.
Like multiple income streams, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, if you wanna. There's no law against having 2 ideal clients or 3 ideal clients. It's just the ideal client part is just to remind you that don't waste your money marketing to people who don't fit that. So you could have area 1, area 2. If you can handle that, great. I would suggest just focus on getting really good at one. Focus some of your efforts on being good at whatever you decide to do. And then, yeah, if you have to extend out to get more business, go for it. It's like lead gen.
Yeah.
If you need to do lead gen to get more business, great. Your ideal client is very, you know,
Likely not.
exactly, likely not gonna come across that way.
Yeah.
But you have to survive too, so.
I'm just nosy when it comes to see how it's or whatever. Like, how much is on now is going for, so I just know. Let's go.
I said my market monitor in money too, so I know many of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
voted mine.
I would too.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so next point is the most important. You guys have to move fast. In everything you do in real estate, from writing offers, from meeting with clients, from negotiating, everything you do has to be fast. It has to be good, it has to be, it has to be good, but speed is everything. If you find yourself sitting, again, back to Gabby, where do I find stuff to work on? Like just constantly be moving fast, driving hard. I thought a lot about this last night, actually, after our session yesterday. And in the same market we're kind of beginning to get into now is where we started the academy, kind of a stronger buyer's market, which I believe will become a thing. There it is. But you guys can be buyer specialists and you can move fast. And the group sitting around this table kicked ass in this market. Like, I just think like everybody in the group who was in this market going forward was doing 1+ deal per month. Like it was so in this same style of market, there was a group of people just like you who were killing. They were super hungry, super aggressive. They just wanted to do everything fast. And I pushed hard for the fast part. I never wanted to talk about paperwork. I could care less about paperwork because paperwork only matters. Yeah, I know shit. Everybody just forced me into the paperwork side, but the paperwork doesn't matter. Like it literally doesn't matter until you get the deals. So how do you find those transactions? Move fast, find transactions, work hard, work fast, do a lot, and you'll find the business. The business will find you, actually, crazily enough. As you work smarter and faster and harder, trying to attract a certain group of people, they will find you. It will blow your mind. Now, you'll have all your business, whatever you do in the first year, but by the second year, these people, like random people that you marketed to a year ago, would be calling you saying, hey, can you help them? So speed is everything. Get to as many deals as you can, as fast as you can. I think Shailen is a great example of this. Got into a lot of deals really quickly. And there's a few people like I would say Newtown and Canal, Teo, sprint to the deals, get the deals, and then you'll get the referrals after that.
Yeah, I think if you're a bunch of buyers, eventually those buyers would be, they wanna sell their property eventually and they were looking for you.
Yeah.
And then you have more sellers
Yeah.
than buyers.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And then, in addition to that, like get as many people in your pipeline as possible. Because there's a percentage of those people who are buying. So if you have 100 people in your pyramid or whatever, and 5% are buying, that's 5 clients. But if you have 10 and 5% are buying, you have half a deal in there. So so fill your pipeline, do whatever it takes to talk to people, move fast, don't wait, but be careful about wasting money. So think about your idea.
I think it's kind of like one of the golden rules in real estate. There's always $10,000 sitting there.
Always, everywhere. And that's part of once you start to have this ideal client mindset, you'll see that $10,000. Like, I don't know, like if you're buying a car, you're thinking about buying a car, you're thinking about one car, you see that car everywhere suddenly, and then you decide to buy another car, and you think it's like the only one of these cars, and then those cars you start seeing everywhere. And the only reason is because your mind is open and paying attention to those vehicles all of a sudden. And it's crazy because this begins to happen to you in real estate access road. You see, you hear, you sense different things. Keep using Nathan. Nathan was at Wine and I think he told us around Friday. He was at Wine and Beyond, and talking with the manager about something, like he was looking for something. So he ends up selling this guy's house. He didn't know him, he didn't have a clue, but when he was talking to him, he heard the cues that he needed to hear to talk about real estate. So you will get better and better and better and better and better at that. You'll go into Safeway, talk to the clerk, do your thing, and she will give signs that she's tired of her condo, and then you'll sell her condo and buy her new house. So there is probably $18,000 for a conversation with the safe. This is a real example, but I'm not gonna use who. This is a real example, and then this person's got 2 referrals from them. So probably $50,000 in like benefit from the Safeway lady who was working the till and sold her $180,000 condo. And bought a $300,000-400,000 house and then gave 2 loans. So $50K from that discussion. And this person wasn't unknown, like,
She didn't shock your business card. So weird.
yeah, don't really. She did leave her business card, but she had built a bit of a relationship with this person, and then,
Yeah.
so after that. Then she goes for the self-checkout dude.
Yeah.
And now she's like hitting him up all the time.
I know who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm just bugging him,
I
because he used to say, "Don't leave your business card."
Yes. So anyways, just move fast. You'll start to hear the cues, but everybody, Sheila, bang on, there's $10,000 everywhere. Everywhere. There's $10,000 in this office right now that's just waiting for you.
Yeah.
Easy peasy, $10,000 in commissions.
I
in
bought
this office.
$10,000 commission at like the end of last year
Yeah.
because I had a client who kept stringing me along. And then I ignored like 2 texts and she, yeah, I'll call you back, didn't, and yeah. And I had put like 30 hours into them. So that was a good way to start the year.
I got a referral yesterday from one of my clients and they were like, I was like, oh yeah, I'll give them a call. Or called them yesterday. Yeah, I already actually spoke to another girl. No, I don't know.
Speed is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speed is important.
Very big pushy,
No,
and that's my fear, and I have to get over it.
but speed is one thing, pushy something different, right? So speed is same, especially in lead gen, man. There's no being pushy, like you just don't, if you're just not pushy, that's not pushy. But if you're speed to talking with somebody, that is so much more important. Because that person has given you every signal possible without ever talking to you. They've signed up for your ad, they've done all these things, they are buying a house. I don't care what people say. When I talk to them, I know they're buying a house. I never let somebody like just tell me they're not buying it and say, okay, great, thank you, bye. They're like looking on my website, they signed up for it, there's something going on. So same thing goes when you get a referral from somebody, there's no, you just have to learn how to talk. How to have a conversation that doesn't seem pushy, but kind of is.
That's what I'm gonna say, yeah, because, even if you think you're moving, you want to move fast, but some people think you're pushing.
Yeah.
And then you call and sometimes they don't even answer the phone anymore. It's just blow people.
Yeah, for sure. I think the flip side to that is, if I'm hiring somebody, I'm hiring the person who's always in. Who is relentless, who works hard, who's gonna get me a good deal.
I think too, it comes on a different personalities too,
Oh,
because,
yeah.
that's like what you would hire, I would not hire that.
Correct,
person,
yeah,
right?
yeah, true.
So, and
Yeah.
then that comes into like your ideal
Yeah,
client, like, I
exactly.
don't like to be pushy because that's what I don't,
Yeah.
my fear.
Yeah.
So,
And that's bang on. So if you're acting that way and you're trying to attract those people, you can't worry about losing somebody that doesn't fit that profile. Still sucks, of course, but that's not that wasn't how you were focused, I guess. Okay? But it sucks. Okay, so finding these ideal clients. This is the absolute easiest, not easiest, most straightforward thing. So there's demographics, so age, income, family status, location, education level, and what they do. Those are the demographics. The demographics typically are most important in like a first-time homebuyer situation. But then there's the psychographics. So psychographics, things like lifestyle, values that they have, interests that they have. So these are very much more emotional and much more difficult to define. So what is somebody's values? It's hard to define. What are their interests? It's hard to pin those down. But they're going to be as important for a certain group of people when they make their home buying decision than their demographics as well. So behavioral traits and buying habits. Buying habits is where the big companies spend all this money trying to figure out how to market to people, how to build their ideal client, and then when those people buy and how they buy. So the buying habits are ultimately what you're going to learn over time by being focused or having a large amount of your focus on trying to do something like acreages. So like acreages, the cue for like the buying habits or the buying cues on an acreage are completely different than buying cues on a single family home in Edmonton or like a townhouse in Terwilliger or something like that. So these are the things that you're gonna learn are the softer psychographic kind of pieces of identifying your ideal client. And these are the pieces that are forgotten. We always talk about, you know, first time home buyers move up, move down, upsize, whatever. But what we forget is that the most effective, the true thing that we can offer is ourselves and our services. It's not going to be, you know, we're home builders who build great first time homes. We're people who are gonna be able to understand what the other person wants, understand how they behave, and understand why they're going to or not going to buy a house. So the psychographics are as or more important than the demographics. So one of the things you can do is start to think about your ideal client in a in a real way. So start to think about people and what they do during the day. So visualize literally what your ideal client does, morning, noon, night, what they look like, where they work. Don't just focus on age, income, family status. So start to think about what those people, because it may be a wide variety of ages, might be a wide variety of incomes, but they might do, they might have kids in soccer or kids in, or be involved in a community association. So start to think more about that, those kinds of demographics, the soft stuff. Okay. So if you have your laptop, grab it. I dropped this survey. So this is just a survey. I think for the most part, it's like check boxes, but there will be some like short answer stuff in there. So I'll ask that you go through the survey. The purpose of the survey is just to get you thinking about the different parameters of an ideal client. And just think of it like there's parameters to a house. There's parameters to an ideal client. So it's time to start to think about and visualize who that ideal client is. So take 15, 20 minutes, whatever it takes, go through that survey and then we'll chat about it afterwards.
And yeah, I do my computer, but.
You can do it on your phone. Yeah, it's just a Google form, so.
Is
It's
it
in the academy group, yeah, yeah. At least, yeah, it is. Weird. Oh, that's you. When did you? Oh. Just refresh. Okay, done with the app.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah, so what we do is just,
Oh, I don't know.
yeah, so all you do is when it's in. So you can open the. And then I'll just. We will.
Well, you know what, it should just be. Yeah. I can't look dead air.
Oh, like me.
Yeah, I was just.
I don't think me too. I don't know why. Doesn't seem like it should be the time period.
Oh,
In here, it's just the AC.
Yeah, that could be.
it is chilly. First. Pretty fun, so.
It's a lot very much.
Right, it is auto clear, like, over. Oh, that's it. Always. Yeah. Really? Does the eyes get puffy?
Red.
I should have really know, first of all. Just angry. Yes.
Should we just try maximizing the, I'm trying to share my,
Oh, yeah.
look at with a full screen thing. Which,
So, like, you need to unshare this.
yeah, maybe try that.
And
Okay, there you go. That's what I want, that's what I want.
oh, I'll do it by multiple.
I did it.
Fine.
Actually, we'll go back to that. Let's finish them. How's everybody doing? Good? All right. Okay, so we'll kind of review these tomorrow, but just keep this in mind. This will be the way you spend your money. And this will be the way you check yourself too. So I don't know about you guys, I go down tons of rabbit holes. I have an idea, I think it's the greatest idea. I do it. I used to automatically do it. Now I think twice and I rationalize it based on my ideal client. If it's not servicing my ideal client, I don't do it, actually. So for me, my ideal client is somebody learning how to to do real estate from year 0 to year 3. So very specifically, year 0 to year 3, year 0 to year 1, they're typically learning, the basics. And then year 1 to 3, they need help getting deals. So that's always my focus. If I go to spend money, some example. I recently went to spend a lot of money on something, and I can't remember what it was, but I kind of just took my time, checked myself, asked whether that's gonna help my ideal client or not, and I decided not to do it. So if you know that ideal client, whatever it looks like, you can just get better and better and better at servicing that client, and then any money that you spend, you know you're gonna get a return on it because you know your ideal client pays.
And we've all wasted money.
Yeah.
It's very easy to waste money.
It really is. It really is, and the problem with our business is that it's very individual. You know, you guys you don't own a business, you are the business. Like, there's no, oh, I have a business now. No, you don't have a business until you have staff, you have a building, you have inventory, you have, a variety of different things. Otherwise, you are the business. And there's plenty of people, marketing businesses, who are the business. And that's a great thing, but the reality is you have to then become all these different things to yourself. And I would say if you can move fast and do lots of work, you're going to succeed. Those two things. Move fast, do lots of things, become more and more consistent, become better and better at what you do. Paperwork gets quicker. You meet, you don't get in trouble. You're matching, you're kind of on top of rules, regulations, markets. All that stuff comes with being fast and doing lots of volume. Tina is a good example of somebody who just the volume. I honestly don't know how she does it. I have no idea. But yeah, it makes me tired just talking to her.
Yeah.
But she's somebody who can really do a lot of volume, and she moves before thinking a lot of the times, and I wouldn't say that in a bad way. But she moves.
She built the funnel.
Yeah, she's building her funnel, she's working that pyramid, she's pushing people to the top. And she's now getting rewarded, and I would say that she would be like any of the original group of Academy members who were all just like going crazy busy, and that's what I focused on, was like pushing people to get busy. She's an example, you're an example, Megan, Dwell's an example, like just do the volume. Get the work race as an example. Everybody's a good example of this actually, but it's like ramp it up and just do a ton of it. I hate to say it, but it used.
Well, especially the first year too, it's like you find out where your personality flaws are, what your strengths are, and it's just constantly
What
going.
you need to work on,
Yeah.
what you need to get better at.
Totally. And that's a kind of good thing.
The first year, you kind of like stumble your way through it, until you kind of like figure it out.
If you stumble fast,
Yeah.
you're much better off than somebody who stumbles slow.
Well, like me coming from like an administration background, like I got stuck in that, like, I have to know everything before I do anything. Like it's just,
Yeah.
learning, and like everybody here, it's just like, fucking do it.
You just have to get out there.
My first deal was such a disaster, because I knew nothing.
Yeah.
I knew nothing what how to do a deal, like I didn't know how to.
Bring it closer to
I-
you.
We did it, we got it to the end, but it was like, man, that was rough, it was just like, look back at that one, I'm like.
It took me like 2.5 years to be like, okay, not every client is meant for you
Yeah,
Right.
too, right?
Yeah.
Like
Totally.
I think my first deal, like, no other, and then at the end of it, they were like, how long? I was like, "Wow." That's when I first got- You know.
Well, my second month. Yeah, so speed,
Sold at like
speed.
60 grand.
So speed is good. You have the backstop of us. I think that over the years we've become much more refined towards like the process. which I think is really important, but don't be afraid to just go and do what you're thinking. You'll have the time to check yourself once you understand better your ideal client, or at least what your ideal client looks today. They may look very different a week from now. You just don't know, but if you're keeping in mind that you're spending money to attract a group of people, you'll spend your money trying to attract that group of people. If it fails, but at least you're trying to attract somebody for some reason. Not everybody for no reason. Okay, so next session, we're gonna jump into defining core values. So the way this kind of works is you start to understand your why, you start to think about your ideal client, and now third part is we start to figure out what you can offer that ideal client, or what you can offer clients. And I think this is the really nice part about, like 120 people and 5 or 6 aren't in the business today. So, everybody has core values that they can offer people. And more often than not, just understanding what you can offer to people helps define that ideal client, and then just helps grow your business. So the best part is everybody's different. Like Sharon said, she comes from admin backgrounds, people come from sales backgrounds, people come from all different service, labor, whatever the background is. You guys will have values that are valuable to clients. So we go the who, or the why, sorry, the let's say the how, so defining your ideal client, and the what, which is what you can offer them. So that makes sense? Just kind of like stringing those 3 things together. And then, yeah, just like, obviously, we'll talk about how to align that person with the values that you can offer. Then the next exercise will be to create an ideal client avatar. This is like a little bit. It's not new, but it's something I'm gonna bring back. We're gonna bring back. So avatar is just like a visualization of what your ideal client looks like, something you can look at, remind yourself, this person is like, it is this avatar. So like in any movie, you'll have like a character that is based on something, and you can look at that character and know what they're based on. So just be bringing in this idea of having an avatar, having just something you can look at that refers back to your ideal client parameters or whatever. So for me, I don't know if you guys have seen that like little Buddha in my office.
Yeah,
That's an avatar for me to remind me anytime that I see it that what I should be working on is my ideal client base and newer agents from 0 to 1 year, and then 1 year to 3 years. If I'm like, that avatar doesn't physically represent anything, but just
what is the relation?
it was literally something on my desk at that time, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna become.
Okay.
My ideal client.
They're off.
I've never had one yet. It's just like manifestation or whatever, so. But he helps remind me that, like, if I jump on my computer and I start to go down a rabbit hole, sometimes he stops me. Not very often, but. Okay, cool. Yeah. So. Shillam has always bugged me. Can you make that any bigger? I don't know if you can do it bigger. I can't.
So just log in, sign up.
Did you sign up this morning? Cool.
Can we get an email with it?
No,
Yeah.
but I don't put a speaker. It's weird. Okay. Okay. Oops. So I'm building this, the last session that we'll have on business planning or planning will be kind of your day-to-day time management and helping you figure out what you do so that you can kind of forecast numbers, you can forecast what you think you'll make, think things like that. So around that personal accountability and being able to figure out what can happen in the future. So that predictability, I talked about fear. Fear is overcome by predictability. So this little tool is going to be a tracking tool that will help you understand what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. So it's kind of, you know how I can start that.
Is the volume down?
Yeah, volume's down, speakers off. Oh, let me turn it up.
Maybe.
What do you say? Nobody can hear from me. Okay. So the app is.
There's. Kitchen.
Oh.
Speakers on the laptop.
Nope. Okay. So it's just a little app that's meant to be like a ticker. So there's 3 categories. There's calls, there's texts, and there's in-person meetings. Doesn't matter how you track this, to be perfectly honest. I just broke it down into 3 categories for absolute simplicity. But I don't know, you can't read it there, but if you click the call button, that's a $10 click. So I don't know if you can see it, but it tells you that you added $10. If you do a text, it's a $5 tick. So you can tick it, add $5. An in-person meeting, which you can define however you want, could be in person. I've got 8 here because I've done you guys today and then a couple other people. So there's 8 in-person meetings, and every time I add one, it's $50 added to my total. The app measures from 1 a.m. to midnight and then resets itself every midnight and allows you to then kind of track what you've done during the week, during the month, and over any given period. So my yesterday performance, you can't see the today tab on the far left. So my today performance is 15 activities and I'm projecting about $500 in sales in those activities. So it breaks down, I've done 3 calls, 3 texts and 9 in-person meetings. And then at the bottom, you can select the calendar period to measure, or you can select, a time range. So last 7-day breakdown, and then it'll have last 14-day breakdown, or sorry, last 30-day breakdown, and then month to date.
Is that a thing?
No, it should not be a thing. So to be clear, anybody trying this is like 100% beta, like beyond beta. It should be pretty solid. But there will be things like that, so that's cool. So if there are things, just let me know.
What about like adding like marketing stuff? or anything? Like,
I was literally just gonna leave it at one thing. But I think you can, as long as you do this consistently and decide on things consistently, like this in-person meeting, maybe it's a Zoom call, maybe it's a face-to-face, maybe it's a phone call that gets really serious. You can decide which one of these you want to click. I would include Zoom calls in the in-person. I probably wouldn't talk about like serious conversations, but maybe you do. So this is kind of up to you to use how you want, but keeping in mind that it's just the consistency. If you're consistent about it, it doesn't really matter. But all that matters is you guys to be able to start to see the forecasting amounts. I was literally gonna have 1 click, which would have been $10 per click, which is, but this happened. So if you have something you do that you think is gonna be a $50 result interaction, then click the $50. Who knows what happens with this, but They just built it super quickly. It'll be pretty buggy. But, yeah, just let me know. You can know, you might have to, yeah, you have to, so you have to re-download it. So click on that open link again. Okay. It's gonna be, it's also gonna be on a website called dealtap.com.
Yeah, every time I go to click on it.
Just gives you that.
You know what, if it's the right tweet, then just, it just did a tweet, so you just, on my phone, I just, hold the screen down, like refresh the screen, and then it comes out.
No. It is, you might have to uninstall it, so I made tons of changes in Spoon, so. You haven't used it since it's been reused it yourself.
Do you send an email through?
No, I
Like
want
for
to
the-
people testing it right now, just to see, like. One thing I can't do is support this, so there's not gonna be any, like, I don't want people asking me. But if there are things, I wanna get it figured out now, so if you wanna test it, you're more than welcome to test, I'll send you. But like the teaching how to download it, reinstall it, like, that's not what I wanna do without a bunch of people. But reinstall it, so just delete it. Did you have it as the app? Did you download it as the app? No. Oh, okay, that's probably what it is.
Is there an?
Yeah.
What's the app?
It's not on the app store, so if you click on, if you. click
Yeah,
on
that
that,
folder, so,
And then, is it, yeah.
What's the Apple Store?
you probably have
There's-
to go to the side of it.
Okay, this is why I don't wanna do it.
Just put that link in the Facebook group?
Yeah, I'll put the link in the.
Yeah.
Facebook. Then you just add it to your home screen. And then download it.
Also, and download it, gotcha. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do this morning. That's what I was gonna do right now, but I can't.
That way, when I update it, it'll update, and it will just be like a URL.
Maybe, can you do like a little loop video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll show you guys right now. Yeah, I'll do it. So when you. Okay, where's that? You go to Chrome or whatever browser, Safari, enter the link that I'll give you. And then just, you'll just have to do on your phone, just add to home screen. I can't remember how it's in the Apple iPhone, it's pretty easy, right? It's the second step, but
Like, if you're on some website, you can just upload it and like that share button.
Yeah.
And then just put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jones.
Or what's the link name?
I think you'll put that.
Oh, okay.
okay, so.
Yeah, but have you eaten healthy food today? That'd be great.
I'm
What's up?
in water.
On that note,
Not or donut.
Yeah.
on that note, what would you guys want me to have as push notifications?
You wanna stop sharing your phone?
Yes. What would you guys want as push notifications? Like Shannon suggested like a morning reminder? Well,
Or
like your,
like midday, or like before supper time? Have you done, like for me,
yeah,
or I don't know.
Can you make it so
What
you
time
can
of day?
compete with like people? Where it's like, so it's like,
yeah,
like you're competing with someone and then it's like
Yeah.
they passed
you
you.
mentioned that, I
They make
think,
more money than you,
Yeah.
or like you make, and then like you're competing, like I'm pretty competitive, I would
You
do
need to
like.
go angry.
First, fucking go door knocking right now.
No, I'm kind of a cheater too. I'd be like.
so this, it's a good, just a suggestion, I'll try to figure it out, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. And get it too complicated, but notification, push notifications, like. What would you like for, if any, push notifications?
Like a reminder for something.
Yeah, like, you know how like the Apple or the smartwatches, if you don't move the first certain amount, it's like, yeah, that'd be amazing.
Why? That.
So I should, I'll.
So if there's like no activity for like an hour or 2 hours, you're like, hey.
Well, between the hours of 9 and
I'm gonna
5.
sit there and be like.
Okay, I like that, so, you know, activation, yeah, might be able to do that. Anything else?
Maybe like motivation,
Hold them to the-
like Monday, like, what are your goals this week, or like?
Stats, like a stat summary. Maybe,
No, but you
No.
can make your goals and then you can like have to hit your goals, like.
but there's gonna be no goals.
No, but still, like, just maybe like a thing to just say, hey, write down your goals for this week, and then on Friday. So a little
Yeah.
button too could be,
Yeah,
reaching your goals for the week,
Like,
or something, or reaching your goals, for I don't.
the only thing is goals bring in a whole new database element to this thing. If
like
it's-
tips of the day, maybe?
I would say like
Tips,
one day a week, like motivation.
Tips of the day.
Today, yep.
I tried to send it to you, and that's not, it was not that.
Did you delete it?
No, it's like even the email you sent me, I go to it,
And your baby, it's exactly like you, same face.
so it's the email you sent me, and when I click on it. Just goes white. Doesn't do anything. Now, what I can do is if I go here and I hold on it. It does bring it up to me, but
Okay,
then
so now,
trying to open it from there, it won't let me, if I click on it.
Yeah.
oh,
so now, do that and then try to add it to your home screen.
It just does.
Is everybody in there?
Share.
You can just. Can you? So Chrome is, you've shut down Chrome or shut down your browser?
I like restarted everything and then went back to me. Then.
Sure.
Yeah,
Oh, wait, is
Never
it just
mind.
from Android?
on the computers, I definitely need on my phone. Computers, not always.
I'm just trying to figure out why you can't go.
Was that
Is anybody else on the iPhone who has it? You don't have it? Okay,
No, you just text it to you.
yeah.
Could you just text me too? Then I might be able to open it that way.
All of a sudden, we start competing, so you-
The follow-up, like ancient leaderboard, come back to.
You're all over that? We'll get better too with that.
Okay, actually, I was gonna ask you that on follow-up boss. So you're showing me yesterday how I have to put that into like an activity.
Yeah.
But is there any way I can do it on my phone? On follow-up boss?
Like add a task.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to do it, it's like, I need to stay more organized.
Yeah, just pick any, you'll be, you can.
Yes, so here.
Hey, you golfing?
He looks like he's golfing.
Yeah.
I wish so.
I'm like Temple, man.
Thank you.
It's working with golf.
Hey, Lewis, they had to shut down the pond, one of the ponds. Epcor shut it down for goldfish.
Oh,
No
I
kidding.
just want the link.
So the
because
pro
that's
showed me
the-
these
so I
goldfish,
see if I
they're
can,
this big, that like they're
They're
like
not that
2 foot, yeah. And he's got like 6 or 7 of them just on the lawn and, they're monsters. People, I don't know, he said flush, but flush doesn't go into swim
Yeah.
pond, so I'm trying to figure that out too, like. I don't know.
Go cast the line.
Well, no, the pond's empty now.
No, they straight up drained it to kill them all.
Years ago at Omaris, it was like crayfish and goldfish.
So they
This
had to
is
shut
fair.
down hole 12,
Yeah.
actually the whole back nine was shut down yesterday.
It's silly.
They did a bunch
And I
of
fish in the
things.
pond.
I know Epcor, I guess they plugged the drainage.
Oh, yeah, when they get that big, yeah, because there's stormwater.
With the
Right,
drain,
yeah.
with the drain, the grates on the drainage grades, and I guess they just like slap up against.
How
it.
did you come to realize
Maybe the water wasn't flowing, or
that? Yeah.
I probably saw that the fish, and they're like, this is an invasive species, some environmental area.
there's penguins, or there's penguins in there. There's pelicans, pelicans,
Really?
yeah. We never
Did
figured
you
out.
see a pelican
why
have
the
one of those
pelicans
giant
were-
fish?
Yeah, the pelicans were.
See what we pay for this, where we done this.
There'd be like 6 pelicans in formation flying over, and who's like.
It's funny, 'cause, like, it's not that deep, the winters they kill all the fish anyways, you know, it seems like an enormous pain in the ass, but it's like,
Neighbor with a koi pond, and it's probably
they sail.
3 feet deep.
yeah,
Those koi stayed alive
shut up.
every single year. Yeah,
What?
yeah. I don't know how.
Not good, yeah.
I go ice fishing quite a bit and,
Yeah,
I think you did.
water retention in here.
But they do,
Water mover thing in it.
but they freeze over, like,
Yeah.
same thing,
sometimes.
people, we knew, it was like the whole like ice thing on top and the koi.
Huh. Okay, this got totally out of control. Thanks, bud.
I'll stop recording.
Not because of you.
Take advantage of them, what do you even have? Because you don't wanna have too many hot things, like too much.
Yeah. Sucks. This sucks.
I would be there.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. If you don't have the app, don't worry about it. It's not something that is gonna be widespread for a while.
Okay,
Oh,
There's gonna be lots wrong with it. So if you do have it and you see anything wrong with it, let me know. It's not gonna be my priority by any means whatsoever, so it might be. You hear back from me in a couple of days. But if you send me something, I'll generally try to get it fixed.
is there a way to undo a click?
No,
No?
no.
Make some calls.
Well,
Yeah.
in person, there's just, yeah, I thought on my app
Yes,
tracker,
we're
I
done.
like a way to set tracker and if you control,
Okay,
but.
bye, Garrett.
it's the way.
What was that, right?
Yeah,
Are
like
you?
I made this one.
Oh,
I made this one and then if you like